And just like that, January 2024 is in the books. What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Brendan. Now, for those of you that haven't been following me for very long, I try to do at least one What's Sold on eBay video every month. And in that video, we sort of pull the curtain back and we talk some raw numbers. So I'm going to show you what I did in gross sales for the entire month of January 2024. We'll talk about what the net numbers look like. I'll show you every penny that I spent in cost of goods and where most of that money was allocated. And then we'll talk about how much I worked on average each week. So we'll crunch some of the numbers, go behind the scenes, but I'll feature some of the more exciting items that I sold this month. And in this video, there's going to be 20 of them. So stay tuned. All right, what a difference a year makes. This January was so much better for me than last January in 2023. I don't know what happened last year to start the year, but I only did, I think, 8,800 in gross sales. This January, again, on a part-time basis, I didn't work any more than 23 hours this week. I had car issues, just getting around in general was tough, so this is very part-time numbers, even though I work for myself full-time. 12,000 in gross sales, 82 in net, and then my cost of goods for the month was $1,816. That includes $270 of retail arbitrage items that haven't shipped yet, some perfumes that were limited edition, and then some baseball apparel that is also limited edition. So overall, my numbers look pretty good. Net, if you want, after cost of goods, 6,410, which is a pretty good month, especially part-time. My average sales price very high. So a great start to 2024. All right, let's take a look at some of the items that I sold this month. This first one here, it's a commercial laminator. I don't know exactly what you can laminate with this machine. I have smaller heat presses, but this thing was a monster. I found it at Goodwill. It was priced at $150, and I sold this for $600 to a buyer with zero feedback. I remember thinking to myself, this is going to be a nightmare to ship because it was around 70 to 80 pounds. So I had to double box it. It was very big, very bulky, but it got there safely. And I don't think the buyers left positive feedback, but I tested it to the extent I knew how, and it seemed to work just fine. So this was a huge item that most people would not pick up. It was just very, very big and clunky. I left it in my garage, but I sold it for $600. So paid $150, like I said, and it did take 6 months to sell. I am happy to see that thing go because it took up a lot of space and there was no guarantee. These do sell. I checked TerraPeak. Some sold in the $700 range. Plenty of them selling for way less than that. I figured 600 was like top half, like top 25% of the ones I saw selling. So $600, and I'll take that. Great sale on an item that I had never sourced before. So, you take high risk, high reward is what this is. But I know a lot of people wouldn't pick up an 80-pound item because they're just big and clunky, and who wants to deal with that? All right, next thing here, Hogan Knows Best, seasons 1, 2, 3, completely sealed. I had this listed for $70, and if I had waited long enough, I could have gotten $70, but with the last January lingering in my head and how poorly I did, I was more willing to take a little bit lower offers this month than I normally would. And so I don't think that trend for me is going to continue in February. I'm going to sort of hold to my pricing maybe a little bit more than I'm used to, maybe not. But that's what was going on in my brain for January. So I took an offer of $50 for this sealed. It sold relatively fast, 3 days. And I don't remember a lot of the pricing on this. Did I pay $4 for this? 4, 5, 6, somewhere around there. But it sold quick, sold in 3 days, and I got $50 for it. I'm happy to see it go. It's definitely a bolo if you find it sealed. I think maybe it's a $25 to $30 range if you can find it pre-owned, complete. So keep that in mind. But this was great finding it, even with the old school sticker still on it. So that was a great sale. I'll take that. Next thing here, this is recent. I just picked these up, and a lot of you folks that have been following me recently saw me grab both of these at a Goodwill. I sold one of them for $85. I sold another one for $100, and they both sold within 3 days. I think these were $10 each, $9.99 a piece, and selling them that quickly, 3 days, is a miracle. It is a bolo, and they have sold for $100 in the past. So again, where I can, I want to be on the top end of pricing, especially with an item that I don't think was listed. I think I was the only one on the listing, or the only one that had these Arcadia lamps at this time. So I had no competition, and I could have potentially pushed it up, past $100, but I felt like for this item, especially with the chrome-like finish having some scratches on it a little bit, they weren't perfect. I thought $100 was fair. Sold one for 85, sold one for $100, and they sold very fast. Keep your eye out for them. This one here could be a Valentine's thing coming up, but they are Coan penny loafers, patent leather red, very, very pretty, and I think these are brand new. Yeah, brand new in the box, and not only are they brand new in the box, they were not marked up. They came out on a cart. So I only paid around $5.50 for them. The comparables for this style were very low. And so I just picked a number out of a hat for me. 50 bucks. I was like, there has to be someone out there that's willing to pay that. There was really no like strategy involved in me pricing these because I was really kind of unsatisfied with what I had seen. But yes, we have the red holiday coming up with Valentine's, and I've got a brand new pair of shoes here. What would these have cost MSRP brand new in the store? Maybe $100. So would 50 be fair on eBay? That's where my brain was at. So I priced them at 50 and they sold for 43. And I sold them in 2 months. So they sold much quicker for a much better price than even I anticipated. But it's a beautiful pair of shoes. They're brand new. So if you were asking me, like, should you pick up every single type of like Coan pinch weekender loafers, I can't really tell you. I would almost say you check, and the answer might be no, more so than it is less. But these were brand new, so to me, it was a no-brainer. So that was a good sale. We'll move on to the next one here. This Lululemon rain jacket. This sold in I think 2 or 3 hours of me having it listed. Woman's size 12. I'll show you some of the pictures. Let me enlarge these to give you a good look. Lululemon drives me nuts because I didn't even realize that one was upside down. Oops. I don't think it mattered because it sold in 2 hours. So here's what the jacket looks like. Almost looks brand new without the tags. So that's all I did, laying everything on my flat deck, and it sold for full asking price, $120. And I think I paid around somewhere between $7 and $10 for a full length coat at the location I bought this in. And it sold, like I said, very, very fast. So maybe the Rebel rain jacket is a bolo, or maybe, it was a size 12 that had something to do with it. At any rate, $120, I'll take that. That's going to be probably the top of the market for a pre-owned Lululemon rain jacket. So keep that in mind, but definitely look out for this type of garment from Lululemon because they have so much now, because it's like more fast fashion, I think, than it is quality per se, but this definitely felt like a quality piece. So, all right, next thing here. Very simple, standard, straightforward, boring item that sold for $80. In fact, it sold in 1 day. So I had this listed for 1 day and I sold it for my full asking price of $80. I think this was in one of my videos, right? Where it's like that boring type of item that people pass over all the time. The price is in the back. They're trying to get items out. If you're in an area like me where, donations come in on a regular basis, and sometimes staffing is an issue where they don't maybe have time to look every single thing up to mark the item up in the back. This one came out, I don't remember what I paid, $5, $6, $7, $8. It was somewhere around there, but selling it for $80 and selling it in a single day is more than I could ever ask for. It is a bolo. This specific style, when I scanned the barcode, it looked like a good number of them had sold. So this is one of the Delta faucet replacement, whatever this is, renovation pieces that is in demand. But if you can't find any of the sexy stuff, look for the boring stuff, because I have to believe in a lot of locations, if you're willing to put in the work, these types of things pop up. And you'd be pleasantly surprised, because the difference between an $80 Patagonia and an $80 Delta faucet, whatever this is zero. There is no difference. $80 is $80, especially if you're paying $7 for both items. So keep that in mind. Next thing here, I paid $15 for this pair of Vans, and they are Ultra Range XO. I don't know what's going on with all of it. Very, very cool looking pair of shoes. They were pre-owned, if I recall correctly. I think that's how I have them marked. Let's look at the soles really quick. Men's 9.5, women's 11. I think these went overseas. So yeah, they were definitely pre-owned, but they were in great condition. They were well kept, Gore-Tex, and I sold these for $100. Paid $15, and they sold in 9 days. There were very few that were just like this, with this type of silhouette and this colorway, and so maybe that set my listing apart a little bit. But I feel like A Vans like this, where you've got a lot of things going on. I don't know if this is a collab. I don't know if Ultra Range is just one of their keywords or if it's an actual collaboration with somebody else. I don't know exactly. But if you see a pair that's like really robust like this, it would be worth looking up. But for me, I pass up a lot of Vans. Some of it is just so basic. Some of it's hard to identify even when I'm using Google Lens, and so I have a tendency to skip over a lot of pairs of Vans. And that doesn't mean that that's the right thing to do. It's just something I do because it gets sort of annoying trying to nail down every single exact style. This one here, like, kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. So, and they had it marked up, so they knew they had something good, and I was fortunate to price it on the high side and sell it for $100 pre-owned. So they're gone. Okay, next thing here, I had to go into Terapeak to find an exact sold comparable for this World Series bat from 2004 for the Boston Red Sox Louisville Slugger, but there was one, and I don't remember how long ago it was, but it did sell for $120. So that's what I had this listed at, and I sent out a 15% off order to offer to watchers, and someone grabbed it. So I sold it for 102. I can't remember what the price was on this one either, like $4, $5, $6, $7 somewhere in there. And this wasn't an item that was on a cart, if I remember correctly. I think this was in the sporting goods section of a store. So someone one of the workers had already put it away, or everyone just kind of skipped over it. So this was a great find on the dead racks, if you will. And it sold in 11 days. So it was a pretty fast seller, and I believe the buyer left positive feedback for this one. So that was a great sale. Yeah, 2004 Louisville Slugger World Series bat, Boston Red Sox. If you find it, $100. Next thing here, this is another one that I had to guess on because if I remember correctly, when I was listing these, and it took, how long did it take these to sell? So these took 11 months to sell, and I just threw a really high number out there of $100. SL72 Adidas Originals, I didn't really know what to do with them. I had seen a few sell, the price ranges, if I remember correctly, looking in Terapeak, there was a big variance. Some of them selling high, some of them selling low. Not a ton at the top of the market, like around $99, and you can see the condition that they're in is good. They're not perfect, but this was a unique colorway for this style, even though it looks like standard navy blue. And I just shot for the stars because that's what I do with a lot of the items. So I really kind of guessed on the price for this one, and someone paid it. So it cost me $2 to $3, and I sold it for full price, $100. So SL72 is the style for this pair of Adidas, and now you know that there's probably a market, and that doesn't even have to be navy blue, but if you see SL72 and you find a pair that is similar here, the same silhouette, just in different colors, you might be able to get $100 for yours too. But this was another one where I just had to guess the price, and it eventually worked out. Okay, these things here, I don't even know how these work. They're motorized window shades, so they're operated by Bluetooth. They sound cool, and the same buyer bought both of these maybe a couple of months apart. So it took me 3 months to sell the last one, and the first one sold a little bit quicker than that. And I sold them both for $90. They're brand new in the package, and they were priced at $15 in the thrift stores. So within the 3-month period, I sold both, but the same buyer again bought both of them. So I don't know much about them. Took me maybe 4 seconds to photograph the front and the back because they were sealed. Put them away in one of my bins, and they sold. So if you end up seeing these, and I think the $90 price range was the price range for some of the previous solds that I had seen, and there aren't a ton, but now you know that there's demand for this. So depending on what you pay, $90, potentially even more, because I don't think there's a lot of these on the market. At least there weren't, if I remember correctly, when I was listing them 3 months ago. But yeah, $90, pretty good sale. All right, did I source this Marlins jersey? I can't remember if I sourced this on camera for you folks, and so I don't remember what I paid. This could have been $5, the shirt price. They also could have marked this up to maybe 15 or 20. So let's say 15 because I don't remember exactly what I paid, but I think I got, oh no, I sold it for 90. So somebody sent an offer and I accepted it. The cool thing about this 2003 Marlins jersey from their World Series year is It's a size 52, so that's like a 2-3X, which I think sells really well for me in jersey sizes. So I had that working for me, and it has a 2003 World Series patch. Let me show you if I took a picture of that patch or not. Okay, so I don't know if I highlighted it, but it's right there. There's the Florida Marlins logo on the left and the World Series patch on the right. Okay, there you go. So that probably played into the fact that I was able to get $90 for this. But it's jersey season right now for sure, because we got baseball starting within the next month, 5-6 weeks. So start looking at jerseys even harder than you normally do. Although, that's another evergreen thing. Jerseys will sell year round. But if you really kind of want to nitpick and just stick to a season, now is the season for baseball jerseys. So great sale at $90. Next thing here, a pair of snow ski pants, women's. I got these at the Amazon liquidation store. It's one of the last items that I've purchased from them, because it's been a long time since I've gone in there. So I paid $15 because I think I went on Friday, which is when they restock everything, and the price is like $14, or it starts at 14 or 15, and then it goes down progressively as the week goes on, all the way down to a quarter. So these were brand new with tags, size 8, women's snow pants, and I had them listed for $100. I took an offer of $85, and I think someone left positive feedback for these as well. So they took 7 months to sell. I sourced these around June, I think it was. But yeah, they looked like they sold pretty high brand new, so I knew to be on the higher side. In fact, let's take a look at the tag and see what they were. So they were $200 retail price brand new. I mean, paying $85 is a pretty good deal. So the Bliss pant, you can see right there, and then Obermeyer looks like it's a pretty good brand for resale, so keep your eye out for that. Next thing here, an ergonomic keyboard. For Microsoft keyboards, the one I find the most of, like in this ergonomic style, is the 4000. This was a 7000 model, but in addition to all of the extras that it comes with, it had the dongle. So I think the dongle helps operate the mouse. It didn't come with the mouse, but the dongle is the piece that's harder to replace. So it's harder to find, and because I had one with this, it was I was able to sell it for $75, where maybe you would be getting $65, $55 for the keyboard if you didn't have the dongle with it. So that added like $20 or so to my sales price, and this sold fast. So version 7000, it sold for $75 in 5 days, and I think it was $6, $7, $8 again. I'm getting real fuzzy with a lot of my pricing too, and I think I left the batteries in. So this shipped with the batteries in perfect working condition, and great sale, fast sale. Ergonomic keyboards that are shaped like this, if you don't know anything about them, start looking them up. Microsoft, again, not all of them will be great, but I tend to find the 4000 version, there's a version 1, and maybe there's an upgraded version of the natural keyboard 4000. So just start looking them up in store. You'd be surprised. And what I like to do is, if I look at the current listings for a specific keyword like Microsoft Natural 7000, and then I sort by solds, and they're like close to 1-to-1 or something like that, I'm going to grab it even if the sales price is a little bit lower, because to me in that instance, making the sale is more important than the return I'm going to get. So if you know, like I know or believe that it's going to sell and it'll probably sell quickly, I'll still pick it up, and I will, in a lot of times I'll accept a little bit less money because I know it's going to sell fast. So keep that in mind for ergonomic keyboards if you've never looked them up. Next thing here, NAMB. What is this? Chip dip. It's like a copper wood chip dip set. Really, really nice. Let me take you through some of these pictures if you've never seen this before. And then I guess another one I can't remember exactly what I paid on it. I wrote down $8, so it's going to be like between $7, $8, $9. And this was on some of the dead shelves. Not a new cart. Lisa Smith, 2017. Really pretty copper piece with like some teal. Almost looks like that teal Navajo jewelry that's really popular right now, turquoise-ish, if you will. There's the rest of it, and then that's what the box looks like here. I had this listed for $125, and if I waited long enough, I think I probably could have gotten that, but I did take an offer again we're in January and I was worried about last January. So I accepted an offer of 92, which is still amazing on 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever I paid. And it sold in 10 days. So I'm learning that there are collectors for this brand. And this was just a very lucky find. And it's great because I knew nothing about it previously, but you know, the data in the app suggested that this was something that I should be picking up. So I'm glad I did. 92 bucks, and it is out the door. Next thing here, if you did not know that Amir Jeans is a bolo, it's a big bolo. Keep your eye out for them. These jeans are a size 40. They are distressed with the little cherub logo, not embroidered on there, but screen printed. I'll show you a closer pic. There you go. That's what that looks like. The Amiri tag, it's very unassuming. It just says Amiri size 40. And these sold in 2 hours. They were a 40-30 for $180. So buyer probably thought they were getting a fantastic deal, and they were, considering that I think the retail price for these, if you were buying these in store or a place like Saks Fifth Avenue, was around $1,700. So to pay $180 is a fantastic price. I mean, even if they paid $500, it would still be a fantastic price. But pair of pre-owned jeans for 180 bucks. I still have one more pair of Amiri jeans in my inventory that I have listed for 400. So it'll probably take them a little bit longer to sell at that price, but $180 for these. They cost me $8.99. And again, sold in a couple of hours. Amiri right here is a huge bolo brand. Keep your eye out for it. Next thing here, CRP Maker, very unassuming. Tibos crampons. This I found by accident. I thought it was like a dish TV something or other. It was upside down when I saw it just sitting on a dead shelf, and listed it for $80 because the comparables were in that range, and it sold for $80. So I paid, I can't remember, was it $7.99? Again, 7, 8, 9, 10, somewhere around there, and could have been less. It only took 2 days to sell, so it was a very fast seller. This is what I was looking at when I saw it originally. And there is the type, style number, CRP Maker, great bolo, another very unassuming item that sold fast, so keep your eye out for it. Next thing here, these little critters, I got at a garage sale. I paid, I think, $1, $2 for them, and I'm coming to find that these anthropomorphic, I'm gonna struggle with how you say that. I think you guys know what I'm getting at. These little figures, they do pretty well. And the brand that I have here is Arnart. There's a couple of different brands. I'll take you through all of the pictures because the value will fluctuate. At least that's what my experience told me when I was, comparing brands. So these ones were maybe a little bit more desirable. You can sort of see the sticker right there, but on the bottom, where does it say it? Does it say it somewhere? Or maybe I don't know that you can see the full name on there. But I was able to identify them from another listing where these had sold for $100. So that's why I listed mine for $100, and I took an offer on these of $85. So sold them in 2 days. I bought them over the summer, and they were just sitting in my office unlisted. And so having a slow day, I got them on the market finally, and they sold very fast. They were very cute. I made sure that they were shipped securely, and I'm happy to get $85. Did I think they were $85 when I sourced them at the garage sale? I didn't really know because this is not my speed. It's not my wheelhouse, but the anthropomorphic style of salt and pepper shaker in this era looked like it was popular. So $85 is phenomenal for me. I will take it. Next one here. This took a little bit of time to sell. This took 7 months to sell, and I bought this on a slower day at the thrift store. If I remember, I think it was marked $13, $12.99. This could have been in a video or not. I don't remember. But I finally sold it for full asking price, $65. This was a zero feedback buyer, so never be afraid to sell to new buyers. Everybody starts at zero, when they're buying for the first time on eBay. So don't let that stress you out if you get something purchased from somebody that has never purchased on eBay before. So Yep, 65 bucks. There's nothing to it. It's a foot massager, has all the bells and whistles, blah, blah, blah. Easy sale, but did take 7 months. So that could be because maybe it's not as desirable, or it's the way I price. But the way I price has been consistent for so many years now. I have a feeling it's just maybe not one of the more desirable models, because I don't think the price slows me down much, even on the high end. So keep that in mind. Next thing here, these dolls, for whatever reason, seem to be hard to find. Maybe they're not making them anymore. I don't know if Elena Avalor, the show, even exists anymore. I knew nothing about it, and I still know very little. But comparables were in the $40 range. I've seen some sell for 50 and 60, so I wanted to be a little bit higher than that. So I priced it at 50, and that's what it sold for. And she took 2 weeks to sell. So price-wise, $5, $6, $7, $8. It was somewhere around there. But another instance where I want to be on the higher end for something that looks like it's a lot more exclusive, or the supply is very low, and I got 50 for it. So I'm happy with that. This package did also, by the way, have a little bit of damage. So this isn't going to a collector. This is going to like a little girl that loves this show, and this doll is, maybe it's not being produced anymore. So very, very limited supply is my guess, and I was able to get 50 for it. So keep your eye out for her. Even pre-owned, I would say. I just got lucky that it was brand new in the package. And then the last one here, I was holding on to this reverse weave Champion sweatshirt from the 70s for a long time, 13 months, and I priced it really high, not knowing any better. It was like, DuPont doesn't seem like, this could be any of a number of maybe high schools at the time, potentially colleges. So I shot for the stars at 500 and got tired of waiting to sell it. So somebody came in with an offer of 260, and I scooped it. So I sold this for 260. I got it at the bins. $2 to $3 was my cost for this. And again, it took me 13 months to sell. Champion reverse weave, with the exception of a few like grail pieces, it seems to, at least for me in my experience, slowed considerably. So I source very little of it this day and age, but this is another one where if it was unique enough and old enough, I would still pick up on a piece by piece or case by case basis. So yeah, reverse weave is just selling slow for me. Anyway, 20 in the books. Hope you enjoyed them. $12,000 this month, part-time hours. It was a fantastic month of sales. Let's hope it continues into February. I hope you all enjoy the same success or very similar. Brendan here, Dad Planet, the One Man Show. We've got a lot of content coming out for you here in the next week or two, including the Lululemon giveaway. So make sure you are subscribed for that. But that is it for today. I'm done. Thanks again. I'll see you in the next video.